Welcome to Defining Dad Bod, where my dad, Coach Alex Van Houten, posts his 14 years of experience to work for you. You should listen to him. Here's Pretty Beast Mode. Who knows who we could be if we could become 1% better every single day.
What's up, guys? This is Alex Van Houten with Defining Dad Bod. I hope you're doing super well. You're listening to Season 3, Episode 14 of Defining Dad Bod, where we're talking about what you're waiting for. I appreciate you joining us for this different kind of episode. I hope you find it powerful. I know I did. Before we get there, our food for thought. I have a measure in my coaching practice called client adherence. Client adherence is what percentage of the time my client does what the program says. In my coaching practice, this is a big deal because my programs reflect an effort on both my part and my client's part to create something that we both agree is doable, good, and helpful for them in their fitness journey. I don't say, hey, if you want to get in the kind of shape you say you want to be in, you got to run 3 miles a day. And they don't say, okay, that sounds great, Alex, let's do it. Instead, I say, the goal you're working toward is going to require that we have a practice in cardiovascular exercise. Generally, I recommend starting with 30 to 50 minutes a week. What are the 1 to 2 days a week that we can commit to this? And what kind of cardio are you open to doing regularly? And we go through that process with regard to exercise, with regard to nutrition, and with regard to lifestyle change. Once we agree on the way forward, I create the program, and then I encourage and support adherence. Adherence is measured as a percentage of completed assignments in a given amount of time. We track 90-day, 30-day, and 7-day adherence, and that shows up on my client dashboard every single morning. What in the world does this have to do with our food for thought today, Alex? That's a good question. I'm glad you asked. My food for thought today is in the last 3 years, I've noticed a trend, and the trend is this. Clients who are consistent with their program are consistently happier in their lives and happier with their results. Well, duh, Alex. If you do the program, you get results, right? Right. But remember how I told you about the practice of creating the program. This isn't just saying that clients who eat more protein like I tell them to or do more cardio like I tell them to get better results. It's clients that do what they say they were going to do get better results. And this is your food for thought this week. In my coaching practice, I tend to think of client adherence as an honesty with oneself and an honesty with one's coach, so that we're both aligned in what you can expect from yourself and what you actually do with yourself. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what change we're going for. I have clients who are working toward increasing their deadlift every single week, and I have clients who are working to run a marathon, and I have clients who are working to get to bed on time, or to cook eggs for breakfast themselves instead of stopping at McDonald's for a McGriddle. Like I said, it doesn't matter what it is they're actually trying to do. It matters that they do what they've set out to do every single week. That makes the biggest difference in their results and their happiness with their results. So what have you set out to do that you haven't done in the past few weeks? And what would it take to get you to be consistent with that change? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Shoot me a message at coachal@definingdadbod.com. A little hope for you here. You don't need to be 100%. My clients achieve amazing results when they start seeing their own adherence to their own agreed upon program at 75% or more. We're not shooting for perfection here, just honesty in our own betterment. And that's our food for thought this week. I hope it gives you something to munch on. Now, without further ado, let's talk about what we're waiting for to get serious about our own health and fitness. What would it take for you to get serious about your health? This is a question I asked my social media audience recently, and their answers have weighed so heavily on me that I couldn't record another show until we sit on it for a bit. So I'm going to share with you why I asked the question, and then talk through some of the responses that we had, in addition to exploring what we can do about it in our own personal life. First, I've worked in the health and fitness industry for 14 years. Do you know the most frustrating thing about being good at exercise, nutrition, and lifestyle change? No, it's not people doing curls in the squat rack, though that does drive me crazy. And no, it's not the amount of misinformation out in the world that has people buying supplements they don't need and being overly focused on short-term behaviors that won't change their life in any meaningful way. What really gets my goat is wanting to help people who don't want to be helped. You've heard the old saying, right? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. I've had countless interactions at this point where somebody's telling me all about their health issues, all the while knowing that no matter what recommendations I make to them, they're not actually going to change anything to help themselves for the better. They just want an ear to complain about their issues. Don't get me wrong, it takes a certain level of compassion to do what I do well, but my wife would tell you you're barking up the wrong tree if you sit down across the table from me and you're not ready to make some sort of change. But after one particular conversation here in Arkansas, I had to see how many other people were aware that they needed to do something different in their health, and they knew they weren't willing to do it, and see whether or not they would write that down online. I had a conversation with a local guy recently who was talking about wanting to be in better shape for himself. He had some questions about some supplements that he should be taking in order to improve his muscle tone and to lose some fat. The conversation went well, but it became quickly apparent that one of the things that would benefit this guy is to be consistent with an exercise program. Supplements, I told him, can help your body adapt to the exercise stressors you place on it, but if you're not moving regularly, there's no magic pill that's going to take the place of that. After a brief discussion about some of the obstacles that were standing in his way to implement a normal exercise practice, he finally said, "You know what? It's probably going to take a heart attack or something for me to get serious about running and lifting like I need to." I was taken aback. I almost didn't know what to say. For one, I don't meet many people who are honest enough, not only with themselves, but also with me, to come right out and tell me they're waiting for a major health event before they're going to get serious about some things that they know they need to get serious about. Also, what the heck do you say to that? All right, if it doesn't kill you, call me from your hospital bed. I'll be happy to help when you're ready. And the conversation got me thinking, how many people are there that I brush shoulders with regularly, especially online, who know they need to make some changes, but aren't yet? And furthermore, do they know what it would take to change their mind or change their behaviors in the direction they know they need to go? So I asked the question, what would it take for you to get serious about your health? It surprised me how honest people were willing to be in a public forum online. And again, I was surprised. I did not expect people to be so honest in a public forum online about such a difficult question. In fact, I imagine, due to how algorithms tend to work on social media, that nobody would answer and nobody would see it. But today I want to cover 3 common answers and talk through them with you. And also, I want to explore what it is that we can be doing about them. Because whether or not you're in a position to change your health and fitness right now, or you're watching a loved one that you wish would change their health and fitness right now, there's something in these answers for you. First, the answers. There are many people on the thread who echoed the honesty of the gentleman I told you about in saying, look, it's going to take some sort of major life event in order to help me change for the better. One guy said, maybe a heart attack or a serious hospitalization will help me take my health seriously. Another person said, probably a tragic event, unless there's some scientific way to inject me with motivation. And this was a common theme not only among those who know they need to make a change, but also among those who answered and said they had made an intense change in their life, and it was due to a major life event. One young lady said losing her father when he was age 60 woke her up to making changes in her life, while another man said that alcoholism and the threat of losing his family is what turned things around for him. It was Carl Jung who said that there's no awakening of consciousness without pain, and that ethos is inherent in these answers. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, we human beings seem especially primed to learn new things, to be motivated toward things, and even excited about things, when we see the pain we're enduring now might be alleviated by making some changes. In classical behavioral psychology, that's the idea of the carrot and the stick. If we're being honest, many of us are suffering right now from something that we know we can make improvements on, but we're not making those improvements yet because we're waiting for life to slap us with a stick, and then maybe we'll consider taking the hard steps to change. In short, we perceive the pain of making change to be worse than the pain of staying the same, and we need some bigger pain to scare us or motivate us to face the suffering of progress. Hey man, I know how that goes. I'm not exempt from this. I, Alex Van Houten, have a caffeine problem. If there were no consequences, I would drink a pot of coffee every single morning, and maybe even 2, if I were allowed to. Who or what doesn't allow you to drink all the coffee you want, Alex? Good question. It's the pain of ulcerative colitis flare-ups that can be exacerbated or even brought about by the level of acidity in the coffee and or the blood flow that goes away from my digestive tract when I'm hopped up on caffeine and my sympathetic nervous system's buzzing. It's the pain of too much coffee that motivates me to take a regular break from it and to moderate it in my life accordingly. What's difficult about the major life event problem in making positive changes to your own health and fitness is this. By the time we recognize the pain of a major life event in relationship to a change we need to make with our health, it's usually too late. Let's take the guy who says he needs to have a heart attack, for instance. First of all, you might not live past the heart attack. Therefore, no exercise program in your future because corpses don't do push-ups. Additionally, many of the things that lead to a heart attack create a level of damage that's beyond repair by exercise and nutrition. While I firmly believe in the body's ability to heal itself, I also believe in our ability to damage the body beyond repair. And so to the individual who's honest enough with themselves to say, to be real, I'm waiting for a major life event for me to get serious about making health changes, I would challenge you to stop imagining the cliff that you're driving toward and start imagining the fall thereafter. Here's the thing. If you're driving and you see that you're headed toward a huge drop-off and you fully wrap your head around the fall thereafter, the crash thereafter, and the potential consequences of continuing to drive off that cliff, you might be more motivated to pump the brakes and or change direction. My challenge to you is to connect with somebody who cares and to talk through this potential and terrible outcome as if it's real. Don't have somebody who cares? Shoot me a message. I'll listen for free. Coach Al at definingdadbod.com. But if you do have somebody who cares, sit them down and seriously talk them through the cliff that you're driving off of. If that doesn't make it real enough for you to get serious now, then I'm not really sure what will. Okay, that was the stick side of the equation. Now let's get to the carrot side. Some of the answers that had to do with what would need to happen for you to get serious about your health had a lot to do with the idea of missing out on perceived benefits. Like one dad who was pretty honest and said, look, I'm afraid that if I take my health too seriously, I'm going to miss out on some things that really matter to me, like going to get ice cream with my kids, or sacrificing time with my wife in order to get my workout in. I'm very serious about my health, but I don't want to be so serious all the time that I miss out on what life has to offer. In this case, I challenge your idea of health. The way I ask the question, what would it take for you to get serious about your health? I think this is a fair concern, and it has a relatively easy and I hope freeing answer for you. If you're concerned that getting serious about your health is going to interfere with your ability to appreciate life, then I would like to challenge your definition of health. What is health? What's it mean to you? And more importantly, what does it mean to your family? Because if health for you starts with a picture of how you think you should look in order to be healthy, then we're gonna need to get a bit deeper with the definition. Here's how this plays out. Alex, I'd really like to be serious about my health. I know I need to cut out certain desserts. I know I need to exercise more often. I know I need to get more rest. And then my pants will fit better. Maybe I'll even get that elusive six-pack. And I can be super fit, hashtag Defining Dad Bod. But I don't know if I want to give up all the things I love just to look good. Does that sound familiar? I've had this conversation countless times with my clients. And here's what I want you to hear. Your outward appearance will be the manifestation of the integrity of your internal health. I'll say that again in a different way. If you're truly pursuing health, then you're not going to be deprived in the long run. This is one of the reasons that I hate the calories in versus calories out method of weight loss. Because when I say the word health, especially with regard to weight loss, people automatically think that I'm talking about cutting calories, getting some exercise to burn more calories, and eating less calorie-dense foods so you're not so fat. And so there becomes a dichotomy between what you mean when you say health and what I mean when I say health. Health is fully integrating all of your interests, values, and drives, and maybe even cravings, so that your physical body, your emotions, your mind, your spirit, are bolstered, built, held together as strongly as possible as you go about living this one life that you get to have here on earth. Healthy habits should add to your life, and add to your ability to have more of those experiences the longer you live. The problem for many people is that they see healthy choices as a choice not to do something they enjoy in order to look a certain way, as opposed to a choice to engage in something because it's good for you, good for your family, good for your community, and good for your future. And understanding your health this way will change everything for you. An example in my own life is this. While my physical appearance is important to me, I'm a trainer after all, would you hire a guy that doesn't look fit in order to help you get fit for yourself? Probably not. But as important as that might be in a few aspects of my life, it's also important to me to make pancakes for my kiddo on a Saturday morning. While it might not make any sense to you, I love the laugh, the excitement, the happiness that comes from teaching my 5-year-old to flip a pancake. Is that in opposition to my health goals? Have I chosen indulgence over being healthy? That's a complicated question, because I've invested a lot of time and energy into my own physical conditioning, and because we've orchestrated our weekend in such a way as to be active and to use those carbohydrates well. Having pancakes with my kid is not a choice to go against my personal health, but it's a part of the big picture of having a healthy, happy, and powerful week and month and year. Now, we don't start every morning in the Van Houten household with pancakes and syrup. Can you imagine putting a sugar bomb in my 5-year-old and then sending him off to school? Bad juju. But pancakes on a Saturday morning are arguably healthy in my house. And I don't mean because we made them gluten-free or used guava nectar instead of maple syrup. They're healthy because our picture of health in our household has quite a bit less to do with how we look and a lot more to do with what's good for our minds, bodies, and spirits. If your definition of health takes away from your life in the present and doesn't give you more life in the future, then it's worth revisiting that definition. I had a friend of mine once who often liked to say, "My job is to help people add years to their life and life to their years." And if that's not a succinct definition of what health is and what it should be, then I'm not really sure what is. I challenge you to identify some of the things that you're having a hard time, quote, giving up, and ask yourself if they're truly a part of a healthy life for you or not. If they are, fantastic. Don't give them up. Get smarter about them. And if they're not, then kick them to the curb. They don't need to be in your life anyway. I don't want a poor semantic definition of health for you to be the reason that you can't be serious about your health and fitness right now. The last major answer category that I saw in this particular thread was the "I need more information to change" category. As you might imagine, I have the most compassion for this sort of answer, because the health and fitness industry can be horribly confusing. Should I eat more carbs or less carbs? Should I take this supplement or that supplement? Should I do cardio or should I pick up weight training first? Is it okay to sacrifice sleep for my exercise program? Does tomato count as a veggie or a fruit? And hey, while we're on the subject of fruit, is fruit okay? You could Google literally any statement I've made in the last 15 seconds, and you could find information that's vehemently for or vehemently against all positions related to those questions. And this fact generally paralyzes people. I'd love to make some changes. I really do want to be more healthy, but I can't do all of the things. And because I'm human, if I make a change and it doesn't actually show results, I'm going to get discouraged, and I'm going to end up right back where I started. If that's you, you are the person who would most benefit from working with an experienced coach. The thing about coaching is not that we're smarter than you or have all the answers. It's that we've been there, done that, got that t-shirt, and helped other people do the same thing. And while we might share some powerful piece of information with you that blows your mind and changes you forever, that's not really the value of a coach. The primary value of a coach is helping you take all the information you've heard, and us taking all the education we've received, and putting them together so that the rubber can meet the road on the 1, 2, or maybe 5 things that you can change right now that are going to make the greatest impact on your health. This is exactly why at Defining Dad Bod we have a Jumpstart Week. A Jumpstart Week is the opportunity to connect with a coach and to have a week of coaching regarding exercise, nutrition, and lifestyle change that's going to help you take your goals and run it through the filter of a professional who can help you identify the things that are going to make the biggest difference for you. And then you get to spend a week doing it. No, we don't promise you're going to lose 12 pounds in 7 days. In fact, there's only a few circumstances I can think of that something like that would be healthy, so don't try that. But what we do want is to jumpstart you in the right direction so that you can get off the starting line, start making changes, and ask yourself, what was I waiting for anyway? Here's the deal. If there's a change that you know you need to make, and you're not making it, I want you to stop that and get it done. It doesn't have to be a huge change. You don't have to overhaul everything. You just have to commit to becoming 1% better every single day. Identify the one thing that matters to you and consciously work to shift that in a positive direction. Maybe there's a conversation you need to have that you haven't had yet. What you're really waiting for is a reason to have it. I'm giving it to you. Go have that conversation. Maybe what you're waiting for is the invitation to get up a little earlier, and to get outside before everybody wakes up, and put in some miles. Here's your invitation. Go get it done. Maybe you're waiting for a reason to clean out your pantry, and to get rid of some of the things that have been tempting you for a long time. Here's your reason. If anybody in your house complains, tell them to call me. My TOUCHBASE calendar is in the show notes below. I'm happy to take the lashing for you. Or maybe you're waiting for some sort of suffering that convinces you that suffering through the change is better than you staying the same. I'm telling you right now that as painful as change can be, it's not more painful than regret. Stop waiting and get it done. Or maybe, honestly, you're just waiting for somebody to care. If that's the case, I hope you'll start with you. Nobody can care about you more than you care about yourself, or at least not in a way that makes any difference. Care enough about yourself to surround yourself with some people who will support you in a positive direction, who will respect your decision to move yourself forward, and who might be able to help when your resolve wavers a bit. We have a community like that in a Facebook group called Defining Dad Bod. You're welcome to join. It's free, and all we ask is that you're committed to becoming 1% better every single day, and that you treat other members of the group with respect. Jump in at definingdadbod.com/innercircle. We've got a Faithful 40 challenge coming up soon that I know you'll want to be a part of, and maybe together we can help each other. Stop waiting to make our health better. We've only got one shot at this thing. I don't see why we wouldn't give it our best. I mean, really, what else are you going to do? Thanks so much for listening. I'll see you on the trail of betterment. This has been Alex Van Houten with Defining Dad Bod. Until next time, guys, kick butt, take names.
1, 2, 3, 4.
The free, practical advice and conversations here remain unbought and unbiased thanks to the support of listeners just like you. If this episode's been helpful to you, please share it with somebody in your life who you know it will benefit. Then, subscribe to the podcast and leave us a raving review to tell others what value Defining Dad Bod has brought to your health and fitness journey. And finally, if you want more Defining Dad Bod, consider joining our online community. We send a lot of free perks and resources your way, and I, Coach Alex, go live every month to talk through our listeners' health and fitness questions to make the practical science of this show applicable to everyday life. Everyone's welcome, and we'd love to have you. For more information about joining the Inner Circle or becoming a supporter of the Defining Dad Bod podcast, go to definingdadbod.com/innercircle. That's definingdadbod.com/innercircle.